Hello. How are you,
Hello,
Adam?
I'm great. How are you
So,
today?
I'm good. Thank you. So, everyone, this is my brilliant husband, Dr. Adam Williams, and we are here today to share something that has unfolded for him. So, for those of you who don't know you, Adam, who are you and what do you do?
Okay, so I am a doctor of chiropractic. I'm a holistic chiropractor. Actually, this year is my 20th year since graduation,
Crazy.
and it's incredible how that flies by. I live on the Gold Coast or just south of the Gold Coast, and I love surfing, I love skiing, I love the mountains, I love the beaches, I love being with my family, my wife, and my kids, and very passionate about purpose and helping people heal through chiropractic and other modalities.
Mm. Yes. Indeed, that's the world we've been swimming in for the last 15 to 20 years. All things health and healing, really.
And how about you introduce yourself, Mara?
All right. So, my name is Mara Williams. I am a mum of two. So, Adam and I, we have two incredible, phenomenal children. And I also have been in the realm of health and healing for 15 to 20 years. I first studied psychology and then I became a yoga teacher and I taught yoga for 11 years. And then the world of supplementation and herbal extracts and essential oils landed in my lap. And for the past 10 years, I have built a essential oil and supplement business and of course, built a family. And yeah, now we're back in Australia. We were overseas for quite some years and we just got back about a year ago and are reestablishing ourselves here. And in that time, in this last year, Adam and I had quite an experience, and this is what we're here to talk about today. So, this is Adam's personal experience, and yeah, it's something that has surprised both of us. So, Adam, are you okay with me asking you some questions so that we can tell the story of what has happened?
Sure.
All right. So, I just actually noted down a couple of questions. I'm going to bring them up so that I don't get too lost in just chatting with you. So you've already shared that you're a chiropractor. Take us a little bit deeper into your philosophy. Not too deep, because I know you have so much to say there, but just if you could sum it up over the past
Uh,
20, over the
okay,
past
so
20 years, you've explored a huge range of approaches to health. And so what has that journey taught you about how the body heals?
I believe that the body has an innate capacity to heal, and I believe that only the body heals the body. It just needs the right set of conditions and ingredients for that to happen. I don't believe that there's a practitioner that can heal you, or a supplement that can heal you, or a machine that can heal you. However, I believe that they can, as I said, set the conditions for that to happen and give the body what it needs in order for that to occur. Because healing really is cellular regeneration, cell by cell.
Mhm.
Like when you cut your finger and you're bleeding, you have to replace those cells. You have to clean that tissue up and replace those cells. That is healing. And so my philosophy is based around setting the conditions for healing to
Mm,
take place.
yeah.
So when I started out after university, I traveled over to the UK and practiced over there. And it was very mechanical and very business orientated chiropractic. And I didn't feel right about it. And I ended up coming back to Australia disillusioned.
Mm.
And through a sequence of events, I met the man that became my mentor living up in Toowoomba. And for 4 years, he mentored me, and he was a true healer, even though we don't heal. However, he taught me the real magic. Chiropractic means done by hand.
Mm.
And he showed me so many different elements of healing and the whole philosophy of addressing the body structure, the chemistry, the emotional, mental side of it all came together for me.
Mhm.
And so I started to study many different methods, and I went particularly into applied kinesiology and looking at that holistic approach. When I opened my practice on the Gold Coast, which now was about over 15 years ago, we implemented this whole philosophy. We had also, it was like a herbal apothecary in there, with supplements, and we were doing all sorts of things. And so that's very much my approach. And I've always been looking for the missing link to
Mhm.
put the system together because not everybody would heal.
Yeah.
And many people have miraculous changes with the
It's
work.
it's something
And
we've seen just all the time, right? And that's not something every chiropractor sees, but it's become just normal, right? That people heal.
yes,
But not
yeah,
everyone, like you said, not everyone. Sometimes they're the outliers where you go, hang on, why are they not healing?
yeah. And so you've got to find that missing link.
Hmm.
So, and one of the things I found is that one of the big things, there's nothing new under the sun. And so a lot of what the missing link is what we've lost in our modern day lifestyle.
Mm.
People
Mm.
didn't get sick very often a long time ago. They
Mm.
would often get taken out by an aggressive infectious disease, but this epidemic we have now of chronic inflammation and pain, chronic autoimmune conditions, and the other range of diseases that are so prevalent and rife in our society, they didn't really exist until recent times, and our genetics haven't changed.
Mm. Yes, and so much of that is around our environment and both you and I we've spent the last 15 to 20 years of our lives trying to figure these things out. And one thing I've learned about you over the nearly 15 years we've been together, about 14, is that you never stop learning. You never stop searching. You will continue to look at everything that kind of comes and crosses your path. And oftentimes, what both you and I have experienced personally as well is that these things come as a result of our own needs and our own challenges and our own desires and our own pain, right? And I think that is a universal experience for most humans. And so I want you to talk about this a little bit because earlier this year, you found yourself dealing with something very different and you actually became the patient. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, so I had a really severe back problem earlier this year. It had been building up for some time. We were living in Central America, driving on dirt roads. There wasn't much access to practitioners or things, and things were already getting a bit bad. And then at the beginning of the year, I was doing a treatment on a very large man, and the, in that treatment, when I applied an adjustment, I injured my low back. I felt in my left SI joint something go. And from there, the whole inflammation inferno took off. And my system just, I feel that it was the straw that broke the camel's back. There was already an issue there. And I really went into a collapse. And the suffering that I felt then was was real. Like many of you that are watching this are potentially going through or have been through, and I can really relate to that suffering. And I was trying everything to heal. I was getting adjusted regularly. I went to physios, obviously chiropractic.
Mm.
I even ended up using medications, anti-inflammatories, which is not something I've really ever done before. And
Which was something, on a side note, because we're obviously husband and wife, that was something that really shocked me because I had never seen you go for medication. It was always, in everything we've done, it was always our absolute last resort. Um, so yeah, I knew things were bad when I saw you pop in the painkillers daily.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I tried injections. I tried a lot of peptides to bring the inflammation down. I was doing whatever I could with exercise. pulled my diet in to be as complete low inflammatory as possible. I was doing everything I can. I was using our red light. I was using essential oils on it every day. And I was in a flat spin and I wasn't able to get out of it. I had to reduce my work hours and I was just surviving, getting through the day,
Yeah.
coming home.
Tell
I
us a
had
little bit more about that. How did the pain and everything from that, how did that affect your day-to-day life and your work and our family?
apart from the suffering, which really affects you, and just how awful the life experience becomes of being in constant pain and being immobile and not being able to do much. I was wearing a pelvic support belt uh, the whole time, but life just became a survival, trying to get to the next day and not get further injured. And my kids just saw me going through it. I wasn't able to play with them. I wasn't happy or chirpy or energetic. And it was so difficult for you, Mara. And then you had to pick up the slack. I couldn't lift things. I couldn't do much work around the house to help. It was just, even just unloading the dishwasher. It was I just have to be on my knees and stand there and do it. So it just on all accounts is terrible. And then it becomes a huge relationship strain. And so yeah,
It was
it's
rough.
terrible.
It was
And
rough.
as a I mean, I've been through some health things in my life, but as a practitioner, when I sit there and I look at the person I'm working with now, it's fundamentally changed me deeply, and I have so much more compassion and empathy than I used to have because I can really feel what they're going through. I know what it means in someone's life now when they're suffering,
Yeah.
and it's my purpose and it's my reason for being here outside of my family, is to help people find solutions to that, to live a good life and live well.
Yeah. And it just kind of it hits home differently when you've gone through something yourself. It goes from being a theoretical concept to being something that you've lived and experienced in your own body. So both you and I, we believe that there's a purpose in everything and that nothing is wasted in God's hands. So yeah, so how did you then first hear about the P90 plus? And what made you decide to give it a try after all the other things that you had tried?
Yeah, so I was in the clinic one day and there was a call from a naturopath asking, speaking to our receptionist, asking if she could come in and show us this amazing new health device. And as it turns out, she was speaking to Mara, and Mara said, "You need to talk to my husband." And she was also talking to my mentor, another chiropractor on the Gold Coast, who said, "You need to go and speak to this chiropractor, Adam." And so that was all within a few days. So I said, "Sure, come on in." And she brought this device in on my lunch break one day and I had my feet on the device for 20 minutes, and then there's also an attachment that is a little almost like a little electric massage device that has a number of
Which which you
features
which you affectionately call the prong.
from, and so she worked on that particularly area around my sacroiliac joint where the whole thing had started. And she left after just over half an hour. And I was walking around for the first time in months and I could not feel pain. I didn't feel pain. And I was so shocked by this especially after everything else I'd done, that I had clear relief.
Mm.
And so that lit the fire because I realized, okay, there's something special with this. And I'd already done a lot of research with PEMF.
Hmm.
As it turns
You,
out,
you were
I'd
getting
been
ready. You were getting ready to order a machine from China. I remember that. You were already in talks.
a couple of factories in China to buy a machine, and I was negotiating between a couple of factories to get the prices down on this very powerful machine that was more of a local applicator for specific joint injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, even that was much more expensive. But I was already had been delving into the science behind PMF, the
Mm-hmm.
evidence of it, and was already very much looking for it when this then found me and literally came to my clinic and came to me. And so I don't believe that that was by chance. And so, yeah, I took the plunge and I bought one and was counting down the days till it arrived. And once I got on the machine, everything started to shift. And I stand here now about 2 months later that, and I'm a changed person. I am full of energy. I feel a zest for life that I haven't felt since I was probably 30 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Just this and this charge in my body,
Mm-hmm.
and not a euphoric high or anything, or not when you're on a coffee high or something along those lines. And the inflammation that had spread through my pelvis and lower back from this central area, it's been like a fire extinguisher. And the whole area, the inflammation is but overall down 90% for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm back out doing things. I'm back in the gym. I'm I've got my life back.
You were
And
kicking the footy with Eon the other day for the first time in a while.
I'm working at my full capacity. I'm able to give my patients my all.
Mm.
And I didn't talk to many people about this. Almost nobody knew I was going through it.
Yeah.
Uh, and you wear a mask, and you when you go through these things. And I know a lot of you that are watching this that would are dealing with suffering, you can probably relate to that. You don't want to be a drain on people. You don't want to show weakness. There's a lot of components to it.
Yeah.
So I'm just so grateful, and I have so much gratitude that I actually feel this way now, and
Yeah.
I don't take it for. And I realize how precious it is
Yeah.
to have that ability in life, and to actually feel okay in
Yeah.
the moment.
Yeah, it's one of those things with our health. It's one of those things that we only really appreciate when it's gone or when it's paused or when it's gone sideways. And one thing that I've certainly seen over the last 2 months, so this to me has been a direct answer to a prayer that we've both been praying because we've been praying for answers and for a solution and for something that would work after trying all these other things that supposedly always do the trick and them not working. That was it was a scary place to be in, I think, for both of us. And I feel like only now that we're coming out of that, I certainly feel this sense of thank God that we have found this because I don't know how things could have maybe gone um, without it, right? So to kind of wrap this up, I think you've said a lot about this already, but now that you've had this personal first-hand experience, why are you excited about sharing this with others, sharing this with patients, sharing this with fellow practitioners?
Because I believe that it's been the missing link in what we've needed. And as I said it earlier, I don't believe there's anything new under the sun. I believe that we just need to refine what we've lost.
Mm,
And what we've lost is our connection to the earth. Originally, we would wear shoes that had leather soles, and we were, connected to the earth. And we were picking up on that electromagnetism that the earth pumps out like a battery charger.
yeah.
But now we've got rubber soled shoes, and we're on floors that are not connected. And essentially, that's what the machine does.
Mm-hmm.
It has a couple of different frequency applications that it puts through the body, which I won't talk about now, but I could go into great detail on how that affects our biology.
We'll do that in another
However,
call.
yeah, we are electrical beings.
Mm,
Our cells have a voltage. When that voltage drops, that tissue, those cells, they get dysfunctional to
yeah.
the point of disease at a certain point. And all disease areas are associated with low voltage in those areas.
Mm,
This machine raises your voltage. It pumps you with the pulsed electromagnetic field,
mm,
like the Earth does. It's an electromagnetism that pulses through the body that's measurable with devices on the body, which we can show you.
mm,
And it raises that cellular voltage. It charges up your cells and
mm,
gives them power to function and to heal. And that's the fundamental thing. And healing is voltage.
mm.
So when we have that charge, our body can overcome what it needs to do. So this philosophy of removing interference to allow the body to heal itself um, is true. However, sometimes it needs the power that it's missing in order to repair. And
Yeah,
I believe that that is, in this case, the missing link.
yeah,
And once what I've noticed is that you can get all the conditions set, but the body just doesn't have the power. It's the
yeah,
battery's low.
yeah,
And so this is like a battery charger.
yeah.
And it's phenomenal. And it's designed for daily usage.
Mm.
And it's charging you up every day.
Yeah.
And
I
because
like
it's
I like how you're talking about, the removing the interference, it's one piece of the puzzle. And we know and we've seen over the years that another piece of the puzzle is our lifestyle, right? And our lifestyle has gone so sideways in the last few years. We're inside all the time. We're on our devices, which are electrical devices, right? So also that part of how we're being drained by the electricity around us, by our environment, and how it changes the body's voltage to a point where often now healing takes so much longer because we don't have the environment and the circumstances that the body needs to heal. Yeah.
yeah, and all of this electromagnetism, or I should say, all of these devices, the Wi-Fi's, the phones, computers, they emit a positive charge into, the atmosphere around them. And essentially, that's draining us of our electrons. Our voltage drops.
Mm,
And so this is an adaptation to the modern day environment that we live in, disconnected from the earth, not picking up that. And also the environment being indoors is a very much a positively charged environment. When there's air conditioning, that's positive charge air.
mm.
And it's it's an adaptation to that environment.
And what's maybe important to share for people who haven't really gone into this field too much, when Adam says positively charged, positive in the sense of ions is not a good thing. So positively charged ions are actually draining us. What we need as humans, what makes us feel good, what charges us up is negatively charged ions. And this is what we find in nature. So when we go to the beach, there's a lot of negatively charged ions. When we go into a forest or when we're standing close to a waterfall, these are all negatively charged ions. But these things, computers, Wi-Fi, they emit positively charged ions, and in that case, they affect us in a negative way. Yeah.
And it's perhaps there's a few reasons. It's perhaps one of the best reasons why you go to the beach and you're on the beach for an hour or two, or you get in the surf for an hour or two, and you're in the ocean and you come back and you just feel energized.
Yeah.
And there's other components to that, of course, but that's perhaps the biggest reason. And so what this machine does is that and a lot more in a very short period of time
Mm.
while you're sitting in a chair doing whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
And this is
that
actually quite revolutionary because so for example, I've done lots of different health programs. I recently did another one which is wonderful and centers around nutrition and movement and spending time outside and in the sun and time outside with our feet on the ground. And as much as I love all of these things and advocate for all of these things, the reality and the restraints of our modern life often mean for many people that that's just not possible. If you work a full-time job and you have a family and you have a household to take care of, and maybe you're commuting to and from work, you won't get your feet on the ground for more than maybe half an hour a day, maybe an hour tops. That is not enough to counteract the environments that we're living in. And that's one thing that I've personally noticed because I didn't have a particular issue I was dealing with, but I've noticed since using the machine, I feel way more energized and way more balanced at the same time. And I feel the way that you were speaking to Adam before, as if I had just been to the beach for 2 hours. I get that same feeling within 20 minutes of my feet being on this machine. And that is really profound when it comes to what that means for our life, for our work, for our mood, for our nervous system. So, yes, that's what I'm
Yeah.
loving about this. Is there anything that you want to say in wrapping up? What are some final thoughts?
Well, this has come to me and fallen into my lap, and I really believe in this. And I've been around a lot of different things and a lot of different uh, biotech devices, a lot of frequency things. I've
Mm-hmm.
used a lot in that over the years, Mara.
We have so many gadgets at home.
Outcomes, but I've never seen anything like this before.
Mhm.
And and anything that's at an affordable rate for the home use, let's say. I mean, normally there's a lot of amazing things where you have to spend, say, $10,000
Mhm.
uh, that are very effective.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything like this before, and I really feel compelled to share this. It's an amazing thing, and it's accessible to us now. And so, yeah, if you're watching this and you want to talk to me more about it, I would love to share more about it with you. Uh, I urge you to do your own research. I'm just sharing my story and the experience that I've had through this uh, through this journey. So I hope that helps, and we will hopefully see you soon.
Thanks for sharing your story, Adam. Yeah. And whoever watched this, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this. Have a great day.
All the best.
Bye.